Welcome to Z's and Threes,
For three for the win, yes!
where we always encourage you to make the extra pass, especially if you are on the transition break. Don't shoot the transition three. Just take the dunk or the layup, because sharing is caring, especially in this holiday season. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, Tyler Denning here to recap Sunday, a three-game light night slate in the NBA, but the full weekend that was, all of the highlights across the NBA weekend. As I'm sure, such as myself, you were locked into the college football playoff. Did your team advance? My Texas Longhorns did. Hook 'em horns on to Arizona State. If you didn't, check out last week's crossover episode with Two Stripes CPD, where we analyzed the NBA as college football playoff contenders. So we will catch you up on everything that was over the weekend if you had been watching college football, as there was plenty that happened in the NBA. So let's catch you up. Before we do, if you like the show, please do share with a friend. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Last time we saw you, the Denver Nuggets were getting beaten at the buzzer by Anthony Simons in Portland, and they are tonight's group chat game of the night as they were in New Orleans to take on the Pelicans. Pelicans already with a victory over Denver, albeit without Nikola Jokic. He can make a little bit of a difference. The Pels built a 17-point lead swing, but wild lead swing alert. A 38-26 fourth quarter for the Nuggets sends the game to overtime because C.J. McCollum cannot do what Simons did on Friday, winning the game at the buzzer. Teams trade buckets in overtime. Denver eventually goes up 4 with 66 seconds left, or we thought they did. A Jokic bucket off an Yves Missy goaltend that was challenged by New Orleans. It is reversed. Jamal Murray, a few sequences later, ends up missing one of 2 free throws that would have put Denver up 4 and essentially salt the game away. But Denver only up 3. The Nuggets and Jokic do foul Yves Missy on a 3-point attempt. So a chance for Missy to go to the line to tie the ball game, maybe send it to his second overtime. 1.6 seconds left. He misses all 3. Denver wins the game 132-129. Second consecutive one-possession game. More on that in a little bit for the Nuggets. This time, the Nuggets prevail. Pelicans force a season-high 22 turnovers, 16 steals, also a season high in assists and points, and they still cannot get the victory. Team high 24 from C.J. McCollum. The Nuggets now 6-3 in one-possession games. They are 15-11, fifth in the West after the 27-13-10 effort from Nikola Jokic, 27 from Jamal Murray as well, 21 from Russell Westbrook. I know a lot of y'all were probably wondering, am I going to get my Z's and Threes? It's the holidays. There's no games coming up on Tuesday, but no, your boy has got you. So let's get you through the rest of Sunday's slate. Good one in Toronto. The Rockets Raptors. No RJ Barrett. He had an illness. Well, that boy has been sick with it for the games at home, at least, for the Raptors. 20th in the league in points per game. Bet you wouldn't have gotten that for Mr. RJ Barrett. He scores 28.3 on their home floor, but just 18.8 on the road. 10-point difference. Interesting. So no Barrett. That's a big hole in the lineup for the Raptors. They got off to a hot start. They build a 16-point lead in the second quarter. When I say that, what is it usually? A wild lead swing alert. The Rockets use a +5 second quarter and a 36-26 third to make it a possession contest. Entering the fourth here, Houston would build to a 10-point lead, hang on to the end. It was a 22-8 run that led to a 114-110 victory for the Houston Rockets. Big night for Jacoby Walter, the rookie for the Raptors, tied a game-high 27, set a career high for the rookie Baylor Bear. He scored 14 points in a row to start the contest. Dylan Brooks had the same 27 himself. 27 was the lucky number in the NBA tonight, as he went 13 of 14 from the free throw line, part of his 27 points. The Rockets shoot 20 more free throws than the Raptors. Fred VanVleet, returning to his old team, went just 1 of 10, including 0 of 5 from 3. Just 2 points, but still good enough for the win. The Rockets moved to 19-9, a half game behind Memphis for second in the West. The Raptors have now lost 7 straight games. They have not won a game in the last 7 contests. Final contest of The night, Pacers, Kings, Sacramento, losers of 3 in a row, all of those at home, including 2 against the Lakers and then that tight one against the Nuggets when they played last week. Hosting Indiana, a team that struggles on the road, 6-11, their road record. It was a 70-point second half for the Pacers that blow the barn doors off the arena in Sacramento. The Kings scored just 43 points across those 2 quarters, third and fourth. The Pacers win by 27, trouble in Sacramento, 122-95. De'Aaron Fox, the rumors beginning to circulate about potentially forcing his way out. It was reported across the weekend that Rich Paul descended from the clutch throne to Sacramento to meet with the Kings brass. Never a good sign. He had 23 points on 7-19 shooting, but tough sledding. Not much from the rest of the Kings group. 7 players in double figures for the Pacers. That tends to be the case when they win. This is a group thing. Pascal Siakam had a team-high 19 points to go along with 10 rebounds, 12 points, 10 assists from T.J. McConnell. The Pacers finding some form. Winners of 4 consecutive, tied for the longest win streak in the East. Currently sit in a tie for 7th, 8th place with the Atlanta Hawks. Kings now 4 straight losses. Star player potentially once out. The heat goes up on Mike Brown's seat. I think it would be a very poor decision to move on from Mike Brown. The Kings 2-5 in 3-point games, 1-2 in overtime contests. The West difference will be on the margins this year, and right now the margins not in favor of the Kings. 13-17, 12th in the West. Do they make any moves? If so, what will they be? Heavy pour leading scorer of the night? Well, we had 4, all with 27. Told you 27 was the lucky number. Dylan Brooks, Nikola Jokic, Jamal Murray, and Jacoby Walter. Dunk of the night, Cam Whittemore. Up from the G League, playing for the Rockets, had a nice alley-oop for the young player from Alperen Şengün. Performance of the night, 27, 13, and 10 from Nikola Jokic, his 11th triple-double of the season. Finally, my stat of the night, through Sunday's games, there are 10 teams within 4 losses of second place in the West. The Grizzlies currently sitting in second. Oklahoma City now with some distance in first. But the Grizzlies, they are 20-9. Good record for the Grizzlies, probably the surprise of the league. But the 11th place team in the West are the Suns, 1 game above 500 at 14-13. But that is just 4 games behind in the loss column. So that is Sunday that was. Let's now catch you up on the weekend notables. Okay, weekend notables before we get started. Rest in peace, Ricky Henderson. See us at the A's hat out, was rocking it earlier today. Weekend notables, the Thunder. Now the longest win streak in the league. 7 games after a 104-97 win Friday at Miami. And you may be saying, well, I just watched the Thunder lose in the NBA Cup final. Why didn't that count? I don't know. It doesn't count. Just the final game, and they lost that one to the Bucks. So let's talk about the Bucks, who failed to carry over that momentum from their win in Las Vegas. They fall 124-101 to the Cavaliers. The Cavs, winners of 4 straight. They are 2.5 clear of the Celtics for first in the East. They back in that win to the Cavs with a 126-99 victory over the Sixers. Let's talk Sixers. Joel Embiid, probably his best game of the season, 34-9 in a win Friday night against the Hornets. But then he sits Saturday, as they have said he will not play in back-to-backs, in a loss to the Cavs. But 9 wins for the Sixers now. Can they creep back into contention? It's the Eastern Conference. Let's stay with the East and those aforementioned Celtics. 43-15-10 performance from Jason Tatum in a 123-98 avenging victory over the Bulls. Last time we talked, it was the Bulls that were beating the Celtics. How about the Magic? A historic comeback against the Miami Heat on Saturday. They tie the largest comeback in franchise history. It is their largest in the play-by-play era, which started in 96-97. The Heat were up 25 at the most. Yeah, we'll just give it that. 22 to start the fourth quarter, but a 37-8 fourth quarter for the Orlando Magic, spearheaded by Cole Anthony, who had 35, 8, and 9 assists as the Magic get the victory. They are a resilient bunch, but bad news for them later on. Victor Wembanyama also having a career night, matched a career best 10 blocks for the Spurs in their 114-94 victory over the Blazers. Had 30 points to go along with it. He did it in just 30 minutes of work. First NBA player to ever have that stat line in just 30 minutes. It was the largest margin of victory for the Spurs on the season thus far. How about the Minnesota Timberwolves? The Warriors go into Minneapolis. They win by 10, a 31-10 offering from Steph Curry. The Wolves hanging on to 10th. Pressure cooker is turned up a little bit more for that group. The Dubs bounce back after that throttling at the hands of the Grizzlies, currently sitting 7th in the West. Anthony Edwards, you'll have to look it up as it was very explicit. Not safe for the kid audience here on Z's and Threes. You can listen to Z's and Threes with your kids. I know some of you do. But Anthony Edwards had an interesting media session offering his critique on the officiating post-game. One final notable from the weekend, the Detroit Pistons. They dropped the Suns Saturday night in Phoenix, 133-125. Does anybody play defense in this league anymore? In spite of KD's season-high 43, the Suns don't win. It was a big game for Cade Cunningham with 28 points and 13 assists. So that is everything you need to know from the weekend that was across the NBA. Injuries and news from the weekend. Alex Caruso, well, he can do a little bit more holiday shopping. It will be a cheery Christmas and holiday season in the Caruso house as he just inked a 4-year, $81 million extension from the Oklahoma City Thunder. So the trade piece, Josh Giddey going to the Bulls, Caruso coming to the Thunder. They have now given him 4 extra years and $81 million to help the Thunder try to chase a title. West leading Thunder. Landry Shamet, he will be back in action in the NBA with the New York Knicks. He will help bolster the league's worst bench scoring wise. And finally, more bad news for the Wagner family and for the Orlando Magic injury wise. A wretched season for them, a torn ACL for Mo Wagner. He will be out for the remainder of the year. Was averaging 12.9 points per game, 4.9 rebounds, and 18.8 minutes of work. He was second in the NBA in total points off of the bench. House shoes. And I'm in the house, so I'm wearing my slippers. As I've said, I'm on the road, so I'm not in the regular Z's and Threes studio, so we're just rocking the house slippers. And I want to give you my Christmas NBA wish list. And I only have one wish for the NBA because I wish NBA Santa could deliver one thing down the stanchion chimney, and that is a new structure to the season. I have harped on this, but it is significant as today happened in the G League, their Winter Showcase Cup final. Now, I've told you guys about the G League quite a bit. I know most of you probably aren't hoop heads or fiends like I am, but I do some work in the G League. I call G League games. The G League is constantly used as a testing ground for things that then travel over to the NBA. And so much has been made of the NBA and their successes, failures, lack of viewership right now. So I have encouraged the NBA getting outside of the box. I will tell you what that means. The Westchester Knicks, champions after a 125-110 victory over the Sioux Falls Sky Force in that Winter Showcase Cup. It's a culmination of an 8-team single elimination tournament. It is a 16-game group schedule that qualifies the 8 teams. Every team then plays in Orlando at least twice to showcase for the NBA front offices, GMs, all down in Orlando to look at the talent coming through the G League. I personally love this structure because I have sold what I think that the NBA should do to drum up interest in the early season, and that is play a 29-game slate, 30 teams in the league. That means you play one team every time. Play each team once. There you go. And you can make the schedule better with travel. You can hit teams up the coast, out on the coast. As we've seen, we wouldn't see the hopping back and forth like the Mavericks had to do, all those miles traveled for the Dallas Mavericks. So after that 29-game slate that would end prior to this weekend, you then do an elimination tournament in Las Vegas that contains at least 8 teams. I would think at least 16 should be there. 16 should be there, if not the whole league, because then you would make it a travel event for NBA fans. And this would be your NBA Cup. And it ends on this weekend before Christmas. And then what do? You begin the regular season on Christmas Day, the unofficial entry point for many people to our league. After that, you play every team twice. From there, you seed 1 through 16, no play-in. That is the playoffs. So you have the NBA Cup season that comprises of 29 games. You get to see your team play every team once, so we will mix it up quite a bit in the league. It's a good appetizer. Then we see a nice, exciting elimination tournament that happens in Las Vegas that should have some good environment because people have traveled out there. There will be more hype. The NBA needs to find more hype. Look at what college football has done. This game has completely revamped over the last 15 years, from the BCS and bowl format to now we have the playoff format with 12 teams. The ratings are huge. They have continued to do things, and it stirs up controversy and conversation. And the NBA needs to find more hype. This, I think, would do it. It is something significant and substantial, not something subtle. So that is it for the weekend. That was across the NBA. 14 games coming your way Monday night as the league is off completely on Christmas Eve. What to watch on Monday? Clippers, Grizzlies, 2 above 500 teams in that battle for the West, including the second place in the West. Memphis Grizzlies. Could Kawhi Leonard potentially make his season debut in that one? Suns Nuggets will play Monday night, so the Nuggets on a back-to-back. That's 2 in a row between those two teams, as that is a Christmas Day matchup. This game will be in Denver on Monday night. Then on Christmas, it will be in Phoenix. Also, Pistons Lakers, as the Pistons beat them in the first meeting of the season in Detroit. And Wolves Hawks. I think that the Wolves are in an interesting place right now. They will be down in Atlanta. If you like the show, please do not forget to like and subscribe. Send it to a friend. Thank you so much for continuing to rock with me, Tyler Denning, Z's and Threes. You sleep by Peep. We will see you back here tomorrow. Peace.